Hello, I'm Elgato, and a lot of people have had their attentions brought to Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition because of a recent update to the game, and a lot of people are realizing that it's the only version of Minecraft outside the Bedrock and Java editions which still receives updates. This makes it somewhat of an oddity of a version of the game, and today I figured I'd dive in and explain to you exactly why it's so great and why you should check it out, because interestingly enough, this version of the game, despite claiming that it was made by Notch right there, is actually the only version of Minecraft which was never touched by Notch himself, never touched by Mojang even, and in fact not touched by Microsoft. This is made by a separate third-party porting studio, 4J Studios, which would usually imply that it's a, like kind of a bad job, like they kind of just rip features off and put them here, but the truth is this is a fully fledged version of Minecraft, and it's actually been made so impressively that I would recommend it over the Bedrock or Java in certain situations, and let me explain to you why this version of the game is so amazing by diving right into the options menu, which has options still not available on either Bedrock or Java, such as Balanced Seed, for instance, where you get a nice mixture of stuff, or you can turn off the nice mixture and go for Java or Bedrock style, but you can have better stuff or worse stuff. You can turn off structures if you want to, or not turn them off. You can have small, medium, or large biomes. On Java, there are large biomes. On Bedrock, you don't get the choice. And then also you can choose to limit your world, because one of the big limitations of being on a console, in the way they coded things, is they can only have certain size of world, but you can pick how big that world is going to be. So we're going to pick Classic for now, because that's kind of fun. And we're also going to use one of the other cool options, only available on console, which is Disable Autosave. That's right, there is the ability to not have the game always be saving, but instead choose yourself when it's going to save, and because generally speaking there's a lower chance of a crash happening while you're on a PlayStation 4, it means that actually, like every half an hour you just save the game yourself, and if something horrible happens, you can choose to undo it if you so want to. So yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to load into an entirely blank seed. We're going to put nothing in there, just so the game gives me a purely random seed. Fun fact, for every version of Minecraft, if you load with a blank seed, the game picks for you, and I'm going to show you how, even despite the fact that it has to pick a seed, which it spends some time doing, and then load up a world entirely from scratch, Minecraft PlayStation 4 has some pretty impressive load times. They're on par with a pretty good PC for the Java edition, and they're on par with the fastest speeds you'll find on Bedrock sometimes. It's really nice, the load in and out times on PlayStation 4 edition, because again, this was a version of the game made for 360 that was then slowly ported over other platforms, and it got a huge performance increase each time it did. Anyway, now we spawn into a brand new world, and you're seeing immediately that, like, yeah, being on PlayStation 4 means that things are just a little bit weird here. But despite the fact that things are subjectively quite weird, here's the wild thing, you'd actually see, looking through the options menu, a bunch of features which still to this day are not found in the current Java version, because 1.14 is now, and which only just came out on Bedrock. All the new slabs and stairs, they're all accessible here. Every single brand new feature, for the most part, a little asterisk on that one, you can find in this version. Do you want to play around with stuff like 1.13 features, Potion of the Turtle Master you saw that a second ago? You have access to all these things, because every feature that has been added to Minecraft, even stuff like level horse armor. Again, this was it's on Bedrock, but it's on here on on PlayStation 4, not found on the Java edition just yet. So these sorts of features, you can see that it's like, wait a minute. So yeah, this is a really cool version game that has lots and lots of features, because this is a fully fledged version that is being still supported to this day, still being updated, and that seems to be the plan for the future, at least right now, because we did receive an update just this week, like I mentioned. But yeah, here's the crazy thing about this version of the game. It's not just that it has all the features, it's that it actually has better access to all of them. So, you know how I spawned just over here, right next to an ocean, recognizable for a lot of people? You'll see how, because we have smaller biomes turned on, you'll find a lot more of Minecraft's rare structures and more interesting structures, such as the Woodland Mansion, a lot closer to your spawn. So, for instance, we just ran across a woodland mansion right over there from spawn. That's amazing, because it means instead of just having to hope that we find one within 10,000 blocks, which most seeds, you won't even get that, instead we can have one immediately at spawn. As soon as we want to raid one, we can go there, or we can choose not to. It's our choice, it's not based on luck. And although you could argue that having something which is otherwise so rare not be so rare is a downside, I think a lot more people would just be like, wait, so you can just find woodland mansions? Yeah, you can. Do you want to find, say, a ocean monument? All you have to do is give it a look, and you've got a fairly good chance, again, random seed, haven't looked around it yet, that we're gonna find one. And a good example to prove that is the fact that just over here, we found ourselves an upturned shipwreck, like a really weird one too, like this is a crazy seed. Oh, it's like sideways facing. And then we've also found a village just on the tiny look away from spawn, because again, structures are much more common, and it makes the game really fun in that way. Both in terms of like, oh, you get some free loot if that's what you want, and based on my Seed Sunday series, a lot of people do just want that, but also in terms of like, it's really fun to dive around and see all these new structures when loading into a world. I would recommend this version to people who own a PlayStation 4 but maybe play Minecraft elsewhere, because of the fact that you'll find some pretty wacky fun features. But as well as having this amazing generation, which allows you to go from biome to biome in a much easier fashion, as well as having a much higher density of structures, which means that finding these super rare and otherwise mostly unobtainable, unless you have a lucky seed, sorts of things that are just kind of found all over the place. It's also amazing because of the fact that it just has, it has all the features, it has easy access to them, but then on top of that, it has, obviously the easy access to multiplayer. So this is something that is less true on Bedrock, because Bedrock is the ultimate multiplayer system, but compared to Java, for instance, the multiplayer is as simple as just inviting someone into the game. You can do it like that if you want to. Also, unlike either Bedrock or Java, if you do like playing with a controller, or you just don't like typing out commands, remembering like, is it game mode C or is it game mode creative? It varies depending on which version of Minecraft you're playing. Is it game mode 1 again? No, all you have to do is if you want to turn on host privileges, you can set them up here. We can turn things on and off. Instead of game rule, like do natural regeneration false, just hit that button and then it's gone. Instead of turn on immediate respawn, wait, you get the point that like there are a lot easier things to do, and it's a lot more user friendly, which is generally a good thing. So do you ever find yourself lost in Minecraft and think like, where am I? And wonder like, is it cheating to use F3 or to turn on the game rule coordinates, for instance? One of the things I really liked is the console solution stat, which is to show coordinates, but only if you have a map or locator map item, which looks something like this. In fact, on console, there's only the locator map with the actual icon on there, but you can see how like, oh yeah, you can always see where you are in terms of coordinates, but only when you have your map out. I think that kind of trade-off is something I've always liked personally. It's something that's super actually balanced, because it means that you don't feel like you're cheating because it's an item in the game. You have to get the item, you do spawn with one, but you have to otherwise get one and keep it on you at all times, and it allows you to see exactly where you are in relation to the map, which is kind of fun and wonderful. And by the way, in case you're curious, it's like, wait a minute, so why is that the end of the world right there? Yeah, there is an end to the world. One of the big limitations of Minecraft PlayStation 4 is the fact that you can just hit the edge and then it's kind of all over. But the cool thing about this is you can actually expand the world, because now that we have an existing world, as well as being able to, do the things we previously could, turn on keep inventory, turn on daylight cycle, etc., we also have the ability to reset the end, reset the nether, and overwrite the world edges and increase the size of the world. Admittedly, the max size of the world is still only 5,000 by 5,000 blocks, which, is going to be less than some people use, but given that 90% of Minecraft players probably never go more than 2,000 blocks away from spawn, it means that for most people, you can treat the game like it's functionally infinite. And within that function, again, functional infinite for some people, it means that you can have access to a lot more structures. Like, say, if you want an ocean monument, you're going to be able to find one somewhere in that space. You can guarantee it. And yeah, this having a finite world to explore is something a lot of people really liked. It's one of the few things that I really loved about Minecraft 360 back in the day. Having a finite world means there's a finite amount of challenge, a finite amount of things you can change, rather than having to be like, well, the world's infinite, so, like, oh, if I got teleported 10,000 blocks to the right, everything I know would be gone, I'd never find it again. Stuff like that, for instance, you don't have to worry about. It's kind of crazy like that. Also, as we load in the world, you can see how, like, oh yeah, so performance for this is actually pretty good too. I mean, although the overall chunk distance rendering isn't so great, like the view distance compared to a high-end PC or a high-end, Windows 10 device running Bedrock, even on high-end smartphone, it's not great, we'll be honest on that one. But the interesting thing about this is the fact that everything will load in, and the game is designed to run at 60 FPS under almost all circumstances. So, yeah, like I said, 4J Studios, they do porting, that's their, whole thing, and one of the key design goals is no matter what, with, again, pretty much no exceptions, you have to try very hard to break Minecraft PlayStation 4 to get it to drop the frame rate even a little bit. The game runs at 60 FPS. I'm loading in all these new chunks right now, as you can see. I'm just running across the world. On, Bedrock, the world will just stop loading, and then on Java, sometimes, it gets stuck or the frame rate will low. But here, we can do that smooth and seamlessly, which is something that, again, if you play on console, you'd appreciate. If you don't play on console right now, you're being like, why would I want that? I want to have more chunk render distance. I don't want to have this sort of stuff. But to a lot of people, this is important, and it's really cool when you do, in fact, see it. So yeah, you can see just how much Minecraft world there is here. It feels like it's unlimited, even though it isn't. And yeah, they've taken the same approach to the Never and the End, which are both limited, but also both have their own little benefits. So yeah, Minecraft PlayStation 4, it's a really cool version of the game, in my opinion, and it's a really overlooked version of the game because it seems as though it's just a port, and it is, on a technical level, just a port of the game. When you hear about most ports, you hear about how bad they are, but in the case of this one, this is one of the very few ports which not only takes its base game, its source material, its original thing, but actually expands on it in a pretty significant way. It takes the original, the OG Minecraft, which is, it's great, it's wonderful. And then it actually, it has to, cut down to make some limitations work for the platforms that it's on. But then it then adds on top of that. The mashup pack, the concept of it, all the licensed things were invented and first, found by 4J. I guess founded, maybe is a better word than found. But all these sorts of things you see that are now in Minecraft regular started here. The new dragon fight, which came in Minecraft 1.9, started in console. And honestly, I can't think of any other game relationship in the world where the port got significantly better than the original in certain ways, and where the port has certain benefits the original doesn't have, and perhaps will never have. Okay, here we go. Finally found an ocean monument, just to prove that, like, every seed, you're gonna have one of these. This one actually isn't far from spawn. It took me a long time to get here, but it wasn't that far away. But the fact that you can always guarantee you'll have one of these somewhere, even though this one's just locked up, so we have to dig through some walls, that's crazy cool. Having more monuments, having more structures, in my opinion, is a good thing. The reason I like Minecraft Console Edition and played it as the majority, like, solo game on my channel for these years is because I think it's a beautiful and interesting, well put together version of the game. It's not just like, oh, it's the worst version put over here. It's a interesting, in a lot of ways, better version put over there. And although we play a lot of Bedrock on the channel, I would say I play 90% of my survival Minecraft time in the Bedrock version of Minecraft. That's not to say that it has everything sorted out yet. In fact, there's a lot of things that it still hasn't that I think it can learn from console. But yeah, the fact that after all this time, despite the fact that Minecraft Bedrock and it has over 100 million copies sold, has all the money poured into it, it still doesn't match what technically I think they're called an indie studio, right? Yeah, it's also, is this a second monument? Or yeah, there's two monuments that close together. You just don't get that in Java Edition, at least not on a regular seed. Be a crazy rare seed when you found this. But here it is, normally occurring, like, oh yeah, that ocean monument over there? There's also another one right here. And then next to this ocean monument, you can see just to the north of it, there is a woodland mansion. Like, that is crazy, that is bonkers, that is absurd. But it happens in Console Edition all the time. That's why I did so many console seeds. That's why I played so much console. And that's why this game still has the place in my heart. I'm secretly always a little bit glad when I hear that it hasn't moved over to Bedrock yet, because seeing Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition updated, still to this day, is something that warms my heart in a really significant way. And maybe seeing this video reminds you that it's not just a port. It's not the 3DS edition where it's like, oh yeah, I mean, it exists technically if you own a 3DS. It's not one of those weird, Bedrock Edition ports that hasn't been updated in a while, like the Apple TV Edition. Again, it's just worse because it's missing updates. No, this is a fully fledged, interesting, fascinating port of Minecraft that I would recommend if you own a PlayStation 4. I think you should check it out, because it's not just all the things I mentioned inside the game. Survive Minecraft, creative Minecraft, that's great. That's what we focus on here. But it's so many things outside the game too. It has leaderboards, that apparently don't have any results. Oh, it's because I'm not on Friends. But it has leaderboards, for instance, which I think is kind of cool. And although, like any, I think console leaderboard, you're going to see a bunch of either hacked or just confusing results. Like, you walked 9.8 kilometers, but you fell 3 million. But there's there's so many other things about it. Like, it has mini games, which to this day I still haven't seen a good Bedrock or Java server doing. Glide being the biggest example of that, right? It has a version of Battle which works so much better than everything else. Yeah, this is basically my love letter to PlayStation 4 and telling you all, like, hey, if you own a PlayStation 4 and you like Minecraft, give this version a try. You might find you'll like it more, or that it's a fun little distraction. I love playing Minecraft Pocket Edition back before it was a major version of the game, because it was goofy and different, and in the same way, now that Minecraft Pocket Edition became Minecraft Bedrock, it's the standard for Minecraft. Coming and playing this and checking out this, by the way, there's free mini-games, you can play this for free, built into the game. So much work and love has been put into this game by the Minecraft team, and the end result of that is that they've made it legal in Finland, and if you live in Finland, here's your opportunity to check out Minecraft PlayStation 4. I hope you did all enjoy today's video, though. It got a little bit rambly, but I really want to just talk about so many things that I love. I missed out some of the, I even missed out some of the things in there that some people really like about Minecraft PlayStation 4. A lot of people love the split screen. A lot of people love the fact that there's trials for DLC. You don't have to buy stuff that is microtransactions in Bedrock. It's free to use. You just have to pay for it if you want to save the game, and then you can have it with friends. So it's super generous. It's super well put together. Way better than any DLC I've seen in any other game. you know, the mini games, they're wonderful. There's stuff like the tutorial, which we haven't even mentioned, but they update the tutorial world every year, make it better and better. Minecraft Bedrock just has a, you know, text file built inside the game that teaches you how to play it. Minecraft Java doesn't have a tutorial. This game has a real built-in tutorial. And yeah, there's just so many wonderful things about this version of the game that I wanted to throw out there and remind you exist. So yeah, thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you did all enjoy it. You can like the video if you liked it, share if you really liked it, subscribe, notifications turned on if you want to see more of these, and I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.